Hello, everyone. We're reacting to this for funsies.
No,
And also, we wanted to talk about. Me and Fable just got into a weird discussion where we were talking about Superman a lot and how, well, Scott Snyder did it wrong, and a bunch of people want him to be evil because they think that's more cool or interesting when it's honestly more boring.
yeah, if you want evil Superman, go read Red Sun Superman or something dumb like that.
Or go with Omni Man or Homelander or any of those.
Injustice Superman, read that stupid crap.
No one wants to hear Injustice Superman. Uh, that was, yeah, let's get started.
We are not above the law. We have to show the world that there's a better way. The people can be better.
But that's the problem. They can't. The world's overflowing with sick puppies. Original
Not
sin
all
in
of them.
36 flavors.
It's just easier to see the
Not
bad.
an idiot. I know there are bad men in power. It's
Yeah.
not a perfect world, but we can't just throw morality in the garbage.
Yeah.
You don't have a clue what it means to live in fear, do you? To wonder why no one can stop the bogeymen who knock down skyscrapers or blow up schools. Well, we do. Human beings do. We understand fear all too well.
Oh my god.
So even Smallville's rooting for the elite.
Elite me.
How just loud, angry, and stupid.
Come on, it's not that simple. I don't think that I make them feel safe anymore. The way I do things.
Clark, when people are scared, they have a tendency to hop on a bandwagon before they see who's driving it. Well, then
Oh.
wise up. And believe me, they will. What matters is that you'll be there for them, leading by example, just like always.
Pocket makes a very good point, don't you think?
It really does.
When people are scared, they usually latch on to the first thing they can without thinking about it, because they think that's what will make them safe. But yeah, Superman is always there to lead by example, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
No matter what. We all need a little bit more Superman in our lives, don't we?
It ain't
We really do.
so don't fix it.
Thanks, Pa.
Someone basically talked about postmodernism and how it only reflects things. It doesn't actually bring up any other point besides reflecting, like, no, this couldn't possibly be true. Everyone's gotta be bad. And like, okay, what else do you have to add to the conversation? Nothing!
I know nuggets are nice.
Mr. Incredible. Amy Adams. The disco wanker. Ghost Rider. The Hamburglar. Batman,
There's a
he's
great
not
quote
actually.
from writer Joe Kelly. I think if you go into Superman thinking he's corny, you're already on the wrong foot, because it's a disingenuous run. In other words,
He's completely right with that. How many times have we been where, like, someone doesn't like what they're writing or the character they're writing, so they just change everything?
Yeah.
This is way too real nowadays, everyone. This is a little too real. I kind of hate that people are like, I can make this better than the original writer. I want to make my own story, and I'm going to make it with guns and all this, and make it postmodern, even though it's a terrible idea.
That's not Zack Snyder.
Yes, Zack Snyder.
if you think Superman sucks and write the character with this assumption, you're going to write a bad fucking story.
Yeah.
And to exemplify this point, Joe Kelly also wrote one of the best fucking Superman stories ever, issue 775. Then wrote the animated adaptation himself.
That's
and
cool.
Safe to say, this film is my favorite Superman film ever. Like, it's not even close. It may not have a fancy $200 million budget, crazy effects, or beautiful actors, but Superman doesn't need them.
Yeah.
All you need is an idea.
Of
A
who
real
he is.
understanding of who he is. Oh wait, I've already done the intro. The comic opens with Superman overhearing a battle and arrives at the aftermath, where a giant fucking cyborg gorilla and apparently 2,000 soldiers were killed by a mysterious third party. Jack Ryder, being the slimy fucker he is, wrote an article praising those behind it.
Of course you
the
did.
elite, led by a trenchcoat wearing edgelord called Manchester Black, who represents the popularity of provocative superhero comics in the early 2000s, like The Authority. Clark fundamentally...
Like, I'm fine with a little bit of darkness in my comics, like with my own character that I'm writing, Nightborn, but not to the point where we're going down, like, drug use and all that. I'm like, okay, now we need to step back a sketch. Like, You're not telling a story about that. You're just adding bad stuff to have the bad stuff in there.
Disagrees with calling people who
Here's
torture
my
and
take
kill
on a lot of
heroes.
dark stories and dark fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't make a story dark without adding certain themes that make people uncomfortable, like SA or drugs, then I think you're a bad writer. And yes, I'm calling you out because there are possible ways to make a dark story or a dark fantasy without those. It's harder, yes, but it's worth it because you actually put an effort to make a dark story without falling into the tropes that a lot of artists and writers have done. That's just my opinion, because I just honestly feel like it's possible to make dark stories without those actual themes.
Yeah.
People just fall into the trap that they can't.
Summarizes what Superman
It's so
is up
stupid
against
to
in
me.
the story.
It's the idea people
Modern
can't do
cynicism,
better when they
where the
can.
essence of what he represents as a symbol of hope and progress is both taken for granted and dismissed. The film puts a highlighter to this by opening with a world stuck in a cycle of evil where Superman is merely a relief. Manchester Black declares,
"Time to take your medicine, love."
Before an awesome punk intro featuring real-life media like the Fleischer cartoons and Super Friends, which
That's
then
cool.
transitions to an in-universe, goofy kids cartoon.
Maybe this time they'll learn that crime doesn't pay.
This intro may not seem it, but it's extremely important because it establishes how out of step Superman is seen in the modern world. He's a cliche, and like our own real world, he has a reputation of being unrealistically childish, which is what my real life partner thinks of all superheroes. But none of this is Superman's fault, because he ensures all profits go to charity.
And yes, I've got someone watching. And yes, we have an ironclad contract.
And
This
yes, we have
is
an ironclad
Superman.
contract.
He's the sort of guy who's a bit naive but not stupid, while next to him is Lois, the realist who balances him with what needs to be heard.
Point is, you have to protect your S.
But at the same time, there's a part of him that is in pain and aware of the ways that he's ineffective. He doesn't kill, so Superman doesn't explicitly change the system around him.
That's kind of the
grown
problem of the
overly
system,
comfortable
isn't
with his
it?
appearances, which is exemplified by the way a
Right.
giant skull kills a load of folks who
Yeah.
draw out Superman.
You use them for bait? Give me a break. I do what I do. You do what you do.
At the
Oh my
UN,
God.
Superman is very much faced by this issue. Professor Baxter argues,
A noble sentiment. But are you the Superman that the 21st century needs? Why not use your power to fix the world?
unfortunately, before things can get interesting, a bomb kills everyone. No, I'm joking actually. Superman actually
Okay.
has a rebuttal.
First, I don't believe that the world is broken. Because when we say the world, we're really talking about people.
He's not wrong.
It's always been my belief that people, at their core, are good. The grace of mankind is everywhere. You just have to open your eyes.
It's just
Humanity has a limitless potential for good.
Superman's job
It's
in the
just
fictional
harder to
universe
see
and in very much
sometimes.
our own is to inspire
Right.
change because it's not in his place to force it.
Yeah,
Although we can't make this
we have to
normal
make the
thing,
change,
because it's a
not
little
him.
issue. That's right. One single issue.
God
Very
damn.
tight. The inevitable battle with the elites is what builds tension here in the comic. When we first hear of them, they send a message to everyone about how the world asked for people like them. And when we first see them properly, they kill a bunch of supervillains in Tokyo in front of Superman.
Oh,
and they
wow.
immediately argue, with Black revealing that he once believed in superheroes, but he's changed now. Good pounding the snot out of evil in bright tights. No questions, no grey areas. It was a perfect dream for a boy who lost a mother to lung cancer and a father to Adolf. And then I woke up. But in contrast, in the film, they meet during the war between Bialia and Park Holliston, and they're friends. Black even trusts Superman enough to show him his origins as a kid who grew up in poverty, and how his powers even manifested to save his sister. Manchester's convictions comes from his anger and his fear, while Superman comes from his calm determination, from love, and they share the same desires for justice. So
Honestly,
what instead builds
Superman
tension in the
has
film
love for the entire
is
world.
the
It's kind of
world.
crazy.
The elite's approach makes
Right.
them popular, from American reactionary boomers to even Lois.
Is that what you believe?
Oh.
Some days,
Superman is seen instead as a fixture, something that won't change, something that's woefully inadequate.
Let's see.
There are people you cannot talk to. That's who the elite are for.
But what happens when the elite turn their attentions away from those people and turn them towards you?
Why the hell would they do that? I'm American. We're the good guy.
You're only the good guys till they decide you aren't.
You're only the good guy in your mind, you idiot.
Here's the thing with people that are willing to kill like this, and especially kill so often. The moment they decide you aren't on their side or aren't the good guys, you're done. Being an American doesn't automatically save you from this. The moment they think that you aren't with them, you're against them. And then, well, then they can either force you to be with them, or, well, you know. You get my idea.
And that dear old dad suffered a massive stroke when Chester decided he was due for one.
The elite represents bold, naked force, detached
Dear
from
God.
any adherence to morality, any pursuit of it. Just the pure schadenfreude of seeing people you don't like losing their lives, and their human rights violated. As Black declares later on, he who has the power makes the rules. It's like the world
Really
is
now.
being seduced by a childish sense of immediate gratification, which in both the comic and the film actually uses to visualize his points. It's so well done. There's also a fun moment in both where during mid-argument,
What were you
Superman
gonna
is
say?
teleported to a car dealership,
I didn't say
using
that.
his likeness for a sale.
Oh.
If this is a problem, I can cut you in 10%.
Symbolically, Superman has no chance in fighting the moral downward spiral of the elite, because people have forgotten his symbol represents anything, so much that they feel comfortable in using him to promote their business. And
Yeah,
knowing
that
Superman, he
sounds
probably
normal.
isn't gonna sue. DC will, though. What follows afterwards is largely the same. Jonathan reassures Clark by saying people are just scared and are jumping on to what's popular. They want quick results, and that's why killing is in fashion.
What
Yeah,
matters is
seems to be.
that you'll be there for him.
And this lifts Clark's spirits.
Paul
It's a
Kent is
beautiful
always
moment
great.
that Man of Steel shamelessly didn't rip off. Instead,
Mhm.
it preached the opposite. I really love this.
Yeah, it kind of did preach the opposite. It's so terrible. Quite literally, Fable, do you want to know what that scene was?
What?
It's literally him, Clark saying, wait, should I have let those kids die on that bus? And Paul Kent says, maybe. I'm like, what?
What? Why?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What?
This moment because it's so simple. Superman is a creature from a simpler time. He belongs in a world of sunsets, cornfields, and a place where everyone is your neighbor. A place where your entire world feels like it's just the love of your family, surrounded by people who look past differences in order to believe in a simple good. But this simplicity is what also leads to the end. In the comic, the final straw is when Superman stops some Cleeties and plans to call the JLA to detain and determine what to do with them, and is very much determined to stop them again and again and again as many times it takes until they change. And he punches the Hats when he's about to kill them. Whereas in the film, two things happens. Atomic Skull causes another ruckus and even kills Professor Baxter, so his son and the crowd cheers as he's executed. We even get a montage of everyone supporting them.
Listen, I like Superman, sure, but the elite will kill these
damn.
murderers and terrorists. What's not to like?
And finally, when Superman tries to push for a peaceful solution between Bialy and Pocolistan, the elite had already killed both the country's
Which
leaders,
just-
leading to a
that's a
frustrated
terrible idea.
Superman striking at Black as the world
That leaves a
watches
power
in horror.
vacuum. Someone worse will take over.
Someone with enough power, and probably worse, will take over. That just makes things worse for literally everyone.
Yep.
Because if you take out both leaders, then both countries have been launched into chaos because there's now nothing keeping their society together.
Yes, it's also what happened. It's like, so you know, there are like a lot of, there's some people that believe that if you take out the serpent's head, everything will be better. No, it won't.
No.
Another head will just grow from it. It's not good. Something worse will, in fact, take over.
Yeah, that's why...
Why do people not understand that?
Because people don't understand that when revolutions happen and people take over... Like if you just suddenly take out the leaders and there's no one else to take their place, someone better, then... Yeah, that's not going to help.
The news doesn't really touch on the politics of the two nations, and instead focuses on Superman versus the elite. See what I did there? The erection of the people, more than the comic, is really the story of the film, because they're largely ambivalent in the comic. But here, they're highly reactive. So it's not just about wouldn't it be cool to see Superman finally show these edgelords their place, it's also about fighting for the human heart and dying for it.
I heard a child say that he wanted to be in the elite when he grows up because it would be fun to kill bad guys.
That's a terrible thing for a kid to say. That's alarming.
I can't kill you, but you can kill me? That's not fair! It's the rules.
Fun to kill. People have to know that there's another way. They have to see that someone believes in humanity strongly enough
To die for them?
Superman takes the fight away from civilians and begs for the elite to turn themselves in peacefully, but gets dismissed, leading to a battle where he's beaten horribly. The same theatre of schadenfreude that people once enjoyed seeing the elite give to others now is thrown at someone who doesn't deserve it, and it begins to horrify the world.
Well, yeah.
They didn't really.
It horrifies you when you see someone who doesn't deserve it get a
Superman is
beating.
eradicated. Lois watches helplessly. The note Clark left for her just simply said, believe.
Always believe.
The world is speechless. But then Superman's ominous voice is heard, and he gives them exactly what they wanted. Pam screams to her fate. A tornado sucks Hat away. Cold Cass is taken away, and Superman arrives, smiling with the same glee Black had. He does what they did, killing the killers, leading to mass destruction as he accepts his dream is dead. Superman then uses his most underused ability, fucking lobotomy.
Heat vision. Focus through your pupils like a scalpel. Instant lobotomy.
Stripping Black of his powers and proceeds
Just
to kill
slapping him.
But then Baxter's son is like, no, Superman, don't. And Manchester Black argues he's lost all that made him special. And that's when the moment flips. This was Superman's plan. Using information from Manchester Black's sister and the Superbots, he created a safe demonstration to show what it would look like if he gave up, and the importance of not snapping someone's neck. In the comic, Manchester...
You caught that, didn't you, Fable?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
His powers aren't actually removed. They're just temporarily inhibited by a series of focused concussions. Superman, in the face of hearing that his logic is really just a dream, he says that's exactly the point.
Good. Dreams save us. Dreams lift us up and transform us into something better. And on my soul, I swear that until my dream of a world where dignity, honor, and justice are the reality we all share, I'll never stop fighting. Ever.
Superman vs. the Elite is fucking beautiful because it confronts and it puts
Really
forward
is.
a very important message.
Fable, I just realized the guy voicing Superman here is the same one from JLA.
It's the same one that what?
That forced him in the animated series for Justice League.
Oh. Oh, that's nice.
An exploration. In a modern age where cynical assumptions are in fashion and are financially
We really need to get
lucrative,
rid of some
there's less and less
cynicism.
incentive to appreciate what Superman represents, but
It's a little
dimming
hard to get rid of
Superman's light
cynicism.
isn't right. That's not the trick. The right trick is to confront the
God
passage of
damn you,
time
Nietzsche.
itself. Superman as a brand might be rendered naive and superficial in our culture of commercialism that hollows out what he really means, but deep down inside, if you're willing to look, he still means something. He still represents
To
a
us all.
message about being better. Superman isn't outdated. You just have to stop being embarrassed of who he is and believe someone can be good, that is still relevant to be good. If you take that away, then you lose Superman. It's that simple.
Oh, that's the end of it. So, Fable, what'd you think of that video?
I thought it was interesting.
I think it gave a good thumb through, but... idea. We'll see what the viewers at home think of us watching this, and if they want us to watch more from him. Anyway, thank you all so much, and we'll see you later. Have a good day. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's a thing I thought that was interesting in the comics that had to do with Superman. To just like sum it up real quick. Basically, to get a map, they needed to go into this place. This demon basically wanted Superman to lie. Like he said, he basically wanted Superman to do something he wouldn't normally do. He wanted him to lie. Superman said, "Of course I'll lie for you." He got the map instantly, and the devil looked at him and said, "Clever." Yes, because he wanted to do the one thing Superman would never do, lie. And he lied by saying he would. It was actually, the devil was just like, clever. It's interesting because, yeah, Superman doesn't get a lot of credit for who he is or what he does.
Yeah.
He's smart. Just people don't give him enough credit for this stuff.
Yeah, people don't give Superman enough credit for how smart he is at times.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it was really fun.
If you like what we're doing here, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Be good to each other.